What is happening, boys and girls? Jim here, you know the channel name. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, and yes, I am introducing another used Vatera product on the channel today. This is a used Vatera Ascender Bronco, OG Bronco. My brother purchased this from an online bidding war site, Kevin Breaker. You might recognize this truck, my friend. Now, I had no idea that this vehicle was coming. I had no idea that my brother had bid on it. He was actually bidding on the 68 Ford F100 orange and white Truggy Ascender, is what he was initially bidding on. The price for that Ascender was going through the roof, and my brother had noticed that the seller had this Bronco as well for sale. He threw a bid on it of $265, and he ended up winning it. Once again, I had no idea that he purchased this vehicle. I actually got in a discussion with Kevin Breaker. What's up, Kevin? I got in a discussion with Kevin about the Truggy Ascender last week sometime, before we did our 5K discussional video. And we were talking about the Truggy and how the price went through the roof. And I mentioned to him about that guy having this Bronco and that he should check it out. But yeah, sorry, Kevin. I had no idea that my brother bid on it. I had no idea that he won it. My brother did show me the Bronco when he was looking at the Truggy, but I had no idea that he bid on it. So this guy showed up on Monday a couple days ago. And yeah, so here she is. Excellent condition, unbelievable condition for its year. It is super clean. Body has a couple of small superficial scratches here and there, but no evidence of being rolled over and no evidence of being driven off-road at all. The entire bottom half of the chassis is absolutely mint. No scratches anywhere to be found on the chassis. No rust to be found anywhere on the chassis. The only thing I found on the underside of the chassis was bits of dust and dog hair stuck to the drive shafts, to the CVD joints, to the shocks here and there, and it wasn't wrapped around the drive shafts or the CVDs. It was just kind of stuck there. And from all the signs that I've seen, I believe that this truck was a shelf queen. Most likely probably sitting on a shelf low to the ground next to a tile floor or a hardwood floor, and just people walking by over time wafted dust up onto those parts. Because otherwise it has absolutely no sign of wear on the underside, no dirt on the chassis anywhere. It is just absolutely mint. It does have a little bit of dirt on the bottom of the tire right here and on the passenger side tire, but it looks like somebody just set it down in a mud puddle, or maybe they just got a little bit of mud on it to make it look like it was used. But the other tires are spotless, and the rest of the truck is spotless, so it really doesn't make any sense why there'd be any mud on the tire other than someone trying to make it look like it was used. Now, for those of you who may have seen this vehicle on that online bidding site, you will recognize it once you see the roof. That is for sure. Somebody had plastered some stickers on the roof, and we will take those off at some point in time. Once again, body is absolutely mint. Pretty darn clean. Once again, it has a little bit of schmutz here and there, where it looks like something was spilled on the truck. It should be able to wipe right off. I haven't touched this vehicle as of yet. Haven't wiped it down as of yet. What you see is what you get. This is how it showed up. Vehicle came with this Dynamite Reaction 4000 milliamp or 4 amp 50C 2S LiPo. And if we look at the battery, it is pretty darn clean as well. No scratches on the battery of any kind. It is scratch free. And it doesn't appear to be swollen. If it is swollen, it may be just a little bit. Now, I attempted to put this battery on a charger, and it said cell error. So the next thing I did was put it on a voltmeter, and it read 5.56 volts. That's a nice number. So 5.56 volts, a little bit below our normal 7.6 or 7.4 volt storage area. I believe 7.6 is on storage. So that's another sign right there. It bled off a lot of voltage, and to bleed off that much voltage, it would have took many years to do it. So I'm assuming that it had never been driven, just by signs on the battery. Battery's clean, and the battery tray is spotless as well. So yeah, you would definitely see some scratches here and there, and there's just nothing on it. It's just mint. So there we go on that. Any scratches that were put on this battery is from me moving it around. When we got the vehicle, the battery was actually sitting inside the battery tray. All right, so let's peel the body off this guy real quick and take a peek at that. Looking at the stickers, yeah, it's covered in stickers. No rhyme or reason for the placement either. Vehicle came from Champaign, Illinois, and Tower Hobbies is in Champaign, Illinois. Safe to assume that this vehicle originally came from Tower Hobbies, not being sponsored. If you see names or hear names on this channel, just be thankful that it's being seen or heard on the channel. All right, he's got a Spectrum sticker, a 4.5 racing sticker here and there. I kind of understand these stickers just because they match the body, but I don't understand the placement. Nothing against 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds, but it looks like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old slap those stickers all over the body. So yeah, those will be coming off, that is for sure. But inspecting the body, looking for scratches and things of that nature. Evidence of rollover damage down the sides. Yeah, we're looking at it upside down, but hey, it's a good view of that. No scratches on that wind or on that water drip line right there on the roof, other than right back here. And that might be just something on the body itself. But nothing down the sides where it would normally indicate a rollover. So the body is just pretty darn clean for what it is. Once again, something right there, but that's just a little speck of something. It does have some fractures right here, it looks like. I was catching on one angle with the camera, but that might just be age on the plastic, or maybe something fell into it. But there's no signs of a rollover other than that. There's no scratches on the sides, so once again, no signs of wear. Looking at the grill, nice chrome grill. It does have headlight buckets. Yes, there is stickers over top of them at the moment, over the lenses. We can take those off or possibly leave them on there. But we can install headlights because it does have headlight buckets, which is nice. Very scale looking body on this thing compared to the newer Ascenders, the K10 Ascender, the F100 Ascender, the Suburban Ascender. The cab on those is significantly smaller compared to this one. This one is very scale. Same with the K5 Blazer, very scale body. Really easy to put a wrestler figure in here. They fit in perfectly with the scale. When it comes to the Suburban and the K10 and the 68 Ford F100, you need a smaller figure for those guys just because the cab is significantly smaller. Looking at the back of the vehicle. No taillights back here and no bumper. So we just have taillight stickers on the back. And I will be peeling the sticker off of that and doing the rubbing alcohol Q-tip maneuver on the back, finding a larger diameter plastic building block to use as a, a taillight bucket. No back bumper on it. We're going to have to put a back bumper on here. Oh, I'm bouncing the body around, so I'm adding scratches to it. It does have a bumper kind of molded in to the body, but it's hard to see just because Viterra made it the same color as the body. If they would have made this black or white, it would definitely give it some more definition. But the fact that it's blue kind of hides it. It's got some on it here and there, but that should wipe off. Once again, vehicle's in great shape, body's in great shape, stickers, they gotta go. They have to go. But definitely good looking body all the way around, for the most part. Considering the year of the vehicle, is what I'm assuming here. All right, let's take a peek at the vehicle. So looking at the underside of the vehicle, and zoom in close here. Normal signs of wear, first spot to get hit is this little cover on the front of the diff. That's the first thing to get whacked. Second thing is this little chrome strip behind that cover. Third would be right here. Other things that get nailed are the bottom half of the axle right here by the links would get hit with scratches. The links right here and here. Drive shaft right here. Belly pan, transmission cross member area right there would get scratched. These 2 points right here, drive shaft, and these points across the back. So as we look at it, there is absolutely no scratches right here. None. No scratches on that front skid plate. Nothing on the chrome. Nothing on the bottom of the diff. Nothing on this side. Nothing on the links. Nothing on the drive shafts. Both links are clean. Cross members clean. Rear links are clean. Drive shafts clean. Axle points are clean. Flip this guy around so we get a better view on it. The skid plate hasn't been touched. The chrome hasn't been scratched. The diff hasn't been scratched. None of these points have been scratched. This truck is brand new. Now, you can see, once again, some dirt or dust and dog hair stuck to the CVDs and on the inside of the wheel, but it's not wrapped around anything. There's no rust on any of that stuff, once again. So it makes me think that that just was static cling for the most part. Looking at those CVDs. It's just stuck on there, but it's not wrapped on there. So once again, static for the most part. Dog hair and hair on the tires. Otherwise, the truck's pretty darn clean. Looking at our pins for the links on the cross member down here, zero rust. Absolutely clean. My brother's Suburban Ascender, which he recently purchased, used as well, is in mint condition, and it actually has a rusty pin back here. But this one is clean on both sides. Frame rails are spotless, no scratches of any kind. Just absolutely mint. Absolutely mint condition. Other than the odd bits of dog hair here and there. Getting up close and personal with our truck here. Checking out the bumper. A little bit dusty, but otherwise clean on the top. We wouldn't expect to see any scratches on here. We'll check out the underside of that. Looking at our cross members, everything is covered in dust. Shock towers are covered in dust. Servo is covered in dust. Wow, look at those servo mounts, black servo mounts. All the Ascenders that I've seen up to date have a red servo mount right here, and not a black one. That's probably a sign that it's an older vehicle. And look at the shocks. The shocks are cranked up all the way around. Another sign that it's a shelf clean. Most of the time you put those in a sagged out position so the vehicle rides a little bit lower and the suspension is a little bit more squishy and conforms to the landscape easier. Battery tray, clean, other than some dust here and there. But there is no scratches in it, so it hasn't been used. Otherwise you'd see little scratch marks from the battery moving up and down inside the battery tray. Motor mount or motor plate back there, clean. No trail dust of any kind. That is the first place to accumulate some dust, along with any spot that had oil on it, like our CVDs and drive shaft outputs. But yeah, absolutely clean. Frame, no scratches. What's going on with this wire? Servo wire hanging out here all willy-nilly. Now there is more than enough slack on this wire to pull that up a little bit further into the receiver box and get this over here on the other side, that is for sure. And yeah, black receiver box. I've never seen a black receiver box. It's covered in dust, but it's black. All the Ascenders that I've seen have a red receiver box on them. So yeah, this is probably old, that's for sure. Even my brother's K5 Blazer has a red receiver box on it. So that's odd that one's black. ESC, really close to the spur gear back here. The Ascender Bronco has the shortest wheelbase out of all the Ascenders. I'm not too sure what the wheelbase is on this thing. I know the wheelbase on my K10 Ascender is 287 millimeters, so this is less than that. But not sure on what the wheelbase is on it. And FYI to the newcomers, yeah, they don't make this truck anymore, but the chassis is adjustable. The frame is adjustable, so the wheelbase is adjustable. Only difference between this Ascender and all the other Ascenders are the links, essentially, and the length of the frame. The longer you stretch your frame, the longer links you need. So it's a guessing game on what links you need for each different vehicle or each different size, but it is adjustable, and that is a very nice feature. Floating battery tray on the front, another nice feature for a stock Ascender for keeping that center of gravity low to the ground. But yeah, the truck is spotless. No scratches on this thing to be seen. Sorry for the camera jiggling around. We're moving the truck around while we're holding the camera. Needs a rear bumper. Should be easy to add. 2 screws on either side. Slide that right out of the frame. With a little modification, you can actually use a TRX4 bumper mount and slide it in there. I've done that before. Yeah, the TRX4 bumper mount is just a little bit wider, so if you just shave down the plastic on either side, just a pinch, it will fit into the Ascender frame rails. So it is possible to use TRX4 bumper mounts on an Ascender with some mild modifications. Dog hair, statically stuck. More hair, statically stuck, but once again, no road rash of any kind. So this vehicle was gently driven, if anything, or if driven at all. It was very, very gently driven. I can't see any signs of it being used, though. On-off switch mounted out here on the frame rail, most likely because ESC is so close to the spur gear. Most of the other Ascenders, the on-off switch is located right here on the ESC. Motor is in good shape. Looks pretty darn clean, just from what I can see. Haven't tried spinning any drive shafts or anything to look at the inside for wear and tear. But it looks pretty clean otherwise. As clean as the rest of the vehicle is, I assume it has little to no use on it. So yeah, very clean vehicle, especially for $265. What a steal of a deal that was. One heck of a find, for sure. For a vintage Vatera Ascender Bronco. Now the battery, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but when I went to charge this battery, it read 5.56 volts. And it wouldn't take a charge. It said cell error on my charger. And I was forced to shock it back to life. So I used this old Hobbyco 905 AC/DC multi-charger and put this battery on the charger for a 10-minute zap and was able to jump that voltage back up and right up to around 7.58 or 7.56 or something like that, and was able to put a charge on it and then brought it back down to a storage charge. So we were able to recover the battery, which is nice. So it is back up in operating condition. FYI, jump starting batteries is dangerous. Only go a couple minutes at a time, and it doesn't always work, but it worked on this one, and we got lucky on that. So yeah, there's a look at our truck. Excellent condition once again. Bottom of the bumper, let's just check that out for craps and giggles. Right here would be the first area to get scratches, and it's got nothing. She is clean. All right, there we go. Nice looking truck, that is for darn sure. Checking out our body, let's look at scale on this one compared to the other Ascenders. Suburban Ascender, right here. Bronco next to the Suburban. Obvious difference in cab size, that is for sure. Height of the roof off of the hood there, area there. Bronco was significantly taller. So huge difference. Vatera was playing around with the scale there, that is for sure. These guys are, the Bronco and the K5 are probably the closest as far as scale goes. K10 Ascender, safe to say it's going to look the same way up against the K10. Big difference between the Bronco and the K10, that is for sure. K10 shrunken, roughly the same size as the Suburban. Well, pretty much exact. Moving around to the other side of the building. Axial Wraith 1.9 RTR, Vatera K5 Blazer Ascender. Body might have some scratches on it now. It fits right over top of that Axial Wraith. So yeah, these guys right here side by side, you can tell that they were produced at the same time. That is for sure. Both the same scale. No doubt about it. Camera back on the tripod, body back on the truck, and with that, I think we'll wrap it up. Here's a first look at our new used Vatera Ascender Bronco. Once again, my brother purchased this from an online bidding war site. Kevin Breaker, I'm sorry, my friend. Sorry that you missed out on this one. It's a great looking truck. It would have been a good deal for you. Totally clean, that is for sure, from top to bottom. Absolutely mint. Cherry vehicle. All right, so one more kicker on this vehicle. After the vehicle showed up and I gave it a thorough inspection, gave it a good looking over, gave my brother the thumbs up. Nice job, nice purchase all the way around. Then my brother told me that this vehicle was mine. So he purchased the vehicle and then gave it to me, which was, man, just so cool of him to do that. Didn't ask him to do it, that is for darn sure. Had no idea that he was bidding on the truck to begin with. And it just happened to show up once again on Monday afternoon, and which was a shock. Another shock to see how clean it was. And then, yeah, the third shock of him saying that he was giving it to me. So that was super cool. His idea behind it, I suppose, he said that he bought the truck and thought, you know, what am I going to do with another Ascender? You know, he's got the Ascender Blazer and the Ascender Suburban, and now he's got the Ascender Bronco. I mentioned something in a previous video about thinking that he was going for the whole collection. He was purchasing these vehicles without my knowledge, so assuming that he was going for the whole collection after I started seeing the other ones show up. But yeah, so he started thinking about that, and he's like, well, I got my K5 Blazer Ascender, and I got the Suburban Ascender. The Blazer's highly modified with the Traxxas TRX4 portal axles and VXL Linear system in it. And the Suburban is essentially stock, other than tires and lights and some other little easy modifications, but relatively stock. And he's like, you only have one Ascender, you just have your K10, and that's highly modified with the portal axles and the brushless system in it as well. But he's like, you don't have a regular stock Ascender, so he's like, I figured I'd give it to you. That way you could have a stock Ascender to mess around with again. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Many thanks, Ian. Very much appreciated, brother. I can't thank you enough. And that was a huge, huge surprise. I was not expecting that. That is for sure. When I woke up on Monday, I was not expecting to be getting a vintage Ascender Bronco by midway through the afternoon. So very cool. Much appreciated, Ian. Yeah, early Christmas present, I suppose. Well, that's going to do it, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching the video. Next time we see it, the vehicle will have been changed. I'm going to peel those stickers off the top of the roof. I plan on putting different tires and wheels in it. I plan on lowering the pinion gear down from a 14 tooth down to a 12 tooth or an 11 tooth or something around that area, just to get a little bit more low end out of it. I'll probably put some lights on it, fore and aft, maybe some bumper lights, not too sure. Tail lights for sure, headlights for sure, rear bumper for sure. But other than that, don't think I'm going to go too extreme with this guy. Might leave it somewhat stock, just to kind of keep it as it is in scale. Maybe throw a little driver figure in there at some point in time. But otherwise, probably not going to mess with it too much, just because this vehicle is in such good condition. It's almost a shame to drive it at this point in time, just for its age. It's almost a shame to drive it. Because right now it is 100% scratch-free on the chassis. And, you know, once you take it off-road and you start putting those first scratches in them, you can't take it back. Once you get that first scratch on the bottom of the differential, you might as well start cutting fenders and modify the hell out of the vehicle, because it's no longer mint at that point in time. All right, boys and girls, once again, that is going to do it. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching the video. As always, questions and comments are always welcome. And we will see you all on the next one. Thanks again.